Hello everyone, welcome to News Extra, and today we're talking about the summertime and 4-H, because this is a time of year when 4-H is very, very busy, especially as we lead up to the Scotts Bluff County Fair. And joining me today, I have Sheridan Ferguson and Jessica Wilkinson. They are 4-H members here in Scotts Bluff County. Thank you for joining us. We have a couple of things really lead up to the county fair. I know that's really busy, but right now you guys have a lot of stuff that's coming up. Specifically, let's talk about a little bit about the fashion show, the style show that's coming up Saturday.
So the fashion show on Saturday, that's when you take in your clothing items that you've constructed throughout the year and other clothing projects, and you take them to get judged. And if you have clothing items you are able to wear, you get to show them off in the fashion show to a judge, and then again at the public fashion review at 6.
It's 6, okay. So the judging itself is taking place at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
And then the fashion show itself at 6 o'clock. Now, Sheridan, when it comes to putting together an ensemble or ideas for clothing, how do you guys come about putting those together?
Well, I sew with my grandma, and what we do is we decide things that I need. Like this year I did leggings, because I need leggings. So we do what we need and what we want. That's how I do it.
Okay. And how about you, Jessica?
Yeah, I do things that I need, or things that I would like to buy but are like too expensive. And then I also like to take older things that I haven't worn in a while and bring new life to them.
You know, kind of take a retro look, take something that's retro and maybe a little bit older when it comes to clothing, and kind of bring it up to date a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, how do you go about doing that? I mean, we're talking about sewing and beading and all kinds of different things?
Yeah. So you can sew and embellish with ribbon and decorative trims and beading, like you said, and other things.
And so these days, of course, a lot of times the latest fashions may be out of somebody's reach, but that doesn't mean that somebody can't make them themselves.
Right.
You know, what type of clothing are each of you putting forward in the judging?
I'm doing leggings and top, and then I'm also doing an embroidered jacket.
Oh, very nice. And how about you?
I dyed a t-shirt, and then I made a jean skirt, and I have a dress that used to be my aunt's, and I re-embellished it and made it more styled.
Okay. And how many entries usually do we see? I mean, how many members do you have that take part in this?
It usually depends. Like, some people will do it, but they don't want to do it.
Yeah, okay.
You usually have a couple kids from STEAM 1 and STEAM 2. Usually all the girls from STEAM 2. And then I don't know who's on STEAM 3, but they do that too.
Okay. Well, there's a whole lot more going on with the 4-H, Scotts Bluff County 4-H Club that's taking place on the 20th, as well as a special event that's coming up on the 1st of August, and we'll be right back on News Extra to tell you all about that. And we're back on News Extra, and today we're talking about the 4-H here in Scotts Bluff County, leading up to the Scotts Bluff County Fair. The summertime, very busy for them. And I have Sheridan Ferguson and Jessica Wilkinson with me today. Thank you very much for joining us again. Sheridan, how old are you?
I'm 11.
And where are you from?
From Scotts Bluff.
From Scotts Bluff. And Jessica?
I'm 14, and then I'm from north of Morrill.
Okay. Okay, now of course, we're talking about the fashion show that's coming up, the style show that's coming up here on the 20th, with the judging being done at 9 o'clock, and then a fashion show itself for the public, for everybody to see, starting at 6 o'clock. There's some other things that are also going on that day on the 20th as well, as I understand.
Yes.
Starting off, a lot of judging that takes place ahead of the fair itself, but it's actually part of the fair. We have the clothing judging that starts at 8, along with a couple of different things. Another thing like a table setting judging. How does that work?
So table setting judging is where you actually create a table setting and you have a theme that you want to do. So you can think of like 4th of July, barbecue, or anything. It's very open-ended. And so you have to set a table that represents that theme with the specific dishes, and then plan a menu to go along with it, and then present it to a judge.
Oh, okay. That's kind of neat. It's a skill that not a lot of people think about necessarily these days, but proper table setting is very important, especially with formal dinners if you happen to have one. We also have something coming up with a cookie jar auction. Now, explain what's going on with that.
So, August 1st at 4 p.m. there's the Parade of Champions, and that's for the static exhibits who get Grand and Reserve Champion. And then following that is the cookie jar auction, and this is a chance for kids who only do static projects, which may be clothing, gardening, cooking, anything inside the building, to give them a chance to make some money like other kids get to do in the livestock sale. And so you decorate a cookie jar and you make 4 dozen cookies to go with it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not just the cookie jar, it's the contents, which of course are very important as well.
Yes. And then they're auctioned off and you receive the proceeds.
Now, Sheridan, are you taking part in the cookie jar auction? Now, are you willing to give us a preview of what you might be doing, at least cookie-wise? Maybe not the jar. The jar, obviously you want to unveil those during the auction, but cookie-wise, what might you be making?
I'm thinking of making snickerdoodle cookies.
Ooh, that's a very popular cookie that's out there, and a lot of people love snickerdoodles. Jessica, how about you?
We were thinking about making some oatmeal raisin cookies to go with ours.
Very nice, very nice. And again, another popular selection for cookies when it comes to that. Now, have you already had the deadline for the jars to be decorated yet, or are you still looking at a little bit farther down the road?
Yeah, they're a little bit farther down the road. They actually get judged the Sunday right before fair starts.
Okay, so we're talking right about the 27th, if I remember correctly, 26th, 27th is when those will be judged. So you got a little bit of time to get those put together, and we won't press you on what designs you're necessarily going to do because that's part of the mystery on it. And of course, the idea is to generate funds for the kids that may be doing only static exhibitions or exhibits. Which means we want people to come out and bid on those and bid them up nice and high.
Yeah.
And aside from that, specifically with the fair coming up, what else do each of you have going on?
I'm doing a quilt, a fairy garden, and like clothing, and I am also doing photography.
Wow, that's quite the selection of things to get involved with. How about you, Jessica?
Besides clothing, I do gardening, cooking, and then some photography, and then portfolio pathways and painting. And then I also do some livestock.
You do. So a full range for you as well.
Yes.
Definitely a busy time for the Scotts Bluff County 4-H members coming up. We have the fashion show judging taking place on the 20th at 9 o'clock. Table setting contest coming up on the 20th at 3. Remember, the fair always starts a little bit earlier than what you may think because there's a lot of 4-H things going on. But then we have the style show on the 20th at 6 o'clock. And of course, coming up on August 1st, we also have the cookie jar auction, which will be taking place to help benefit the kids who are involved in primarily static exhibits at the fair as opposed to just livestock only. Jessica and Sheridan, thank you very much for joining us on News Extra today.